We also have homegrown criminals, absolute monsters. I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country.
What if you could reduce overcrowding in your prison system and get rid of the most violent criminals from your country by outsourcing them to another country? That is precisely what the White House is looking to do. And at this meeting between Trump and the president of El Salvador, they're discussing just that.
I want to thank you for the great job you're doing. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
This is Nayib Bukele. He styles himself as the coolest dictator in the world. He has an 80% approval rating in El Salvador, and he's turned a soaring crime rate on its head. President Trump admires his success.
Sometimes they say that we imprisoned thousands. I like to say that we actually liberated millions.
It's very good. Who gave him that line? Do you think I can use that?
El Salvador has already taken hundreds of Venezuelan migrants from America. These men are gang members, according to the Trump administration, and they've been deported from America without any judicial process. El Salvador took them into its notorious terrorism confinement center. No lawyers, no justice, no process. So how has the Trump administration been able to do it? For more than 100 cases, the administration used the Alien Enemies Act, an 18th century wartime law targeting alleged members of the Tren al Agua gang. But the families of some of those deported insist they are not gang members.
In a blink of an eye, our 3 children lost their father, and I lost the love of my life.
Court cases have gone all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in favour of the return of one man, Kilmar Albrego Garcia, a citizen of El Salvador but living in Maryland. He had been deported due to an administrative error, but the Trump administration says they do not have the legal obligation to bring him back to America.
No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
The question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Trump's hard line on immigration and partnership with El Salvador has worked on the southern border, where crossings for the year so far are down to their lowest level in decades. But these images have shocked many. And the ambition now is to go much further. Bukele said in February that he'd offered the US the opportunity to outsource part of its own prison system, willing to take in only convicted criminals, including convicted US citizens, into our mega prison in exchange for a fee.
I'm all for it because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security.
Mutual respect then between two leaders who are as controversial as they are determined.